Hi, John.
Hey, Alex.
Do you know what I hate?
What's that?
Your idea of watching Hudson Hawk for the show.
I believe that was... Well, that was my idea, wasn't it? Yeah.
Would you like to swing on a star? Carry movies home in a jar and be better off than you are? Or won't you rather be amused?
I don't regret watching this movie again, but boy, was it better in my memory.
I can believe that. I think if I was 12 or so, I would very much enjoy this movie when it first came out.
Yeah.
Which I was about 11 or 12, but I just didn't see it.
Yeah, because I get why I liked it. Mm-hmm. I still... This is what... So I've been thinking about this all day. And this goes back to my thing with Andy Warhol, where I think Andy Warhol is almost a kind of Forrest Gump character, where it was just somebody on the spectrum that sort of knew how to paint, and then people just kind of got tricked into thinking he was something he wasn't. Like that he was
like Chance the Gardener from being there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That there's this extra thing to it. And I think that's sort of what happened here, where this is like a meta critique of this style of film done in like this Crosby Hope style comedy, but it's also like this on a secondary level making fun of those action adventure movies. But I don't think they meant it to be a meta critique. I think they kind of, like in a Warhol way, just sort of happened, and it's like, well, is it art now?
Some of it is that this movie got really sidetracked by its star. In that, like, the whole concept of Hudson Hawk was a character that Bruce Willis and fellow screenwriter Mark Kraft created in a song.
No. Mark Kraft created the song. Bruce Willis saw him playing and went, oh, yeah, that's great. It's like Jersey. Yeah. Hudson.
Yeah. So, and this is their only, the two of them, this is their only screenwriting credit.
Yes.
The other guy, the other people involved is Steven D'Souza and the guy who wrote Heathers, and it's directed by Michael Lehman, who did Heathers. And this seems like one of those things where Michael Lehman had some success with Heathers and some more indie stuff, and they went, now it's time to play with the big boys. And he had a miserable time making this movie. He clashed with Bruce Willis all over the place.
Yeah.
In fact, I was reading about this in an interview with Steven D'Souza, saying that apparently around the time they were making this movie, this executive, Warner Brothers executive, calls up and says, "We just did a test screening of the Bonfire of the Vanities. You tested through the roof. We're recutting the movie to make your part bigger." Now, Bonfire of the Vanities went on to just be terribly reviewed and a famous bomb. But apparently because at that moment he had all this heat, Bruce Willis just went nuts and was like, "I'm a star, baby, and I'm going to write all these jokes." The script changed constantly on set. The tone of the movie changed constantly. There's something there. There's a bones of something there.
That's why I think it's somewhat like even the meta thing, like, because now that it's the person that did Heathers, it sort of makes sense because that has that same sort of feel.
Yeah, there's a
where it's almost
satirical
like
element
looking
to it.
at itself. Yeah. But because Bruce Willis is such a ham and just an inherently unfunny man that thinks he's funny, it adds to that meta thing where it's like these jokes are played up actually as jokes, not like, look how dumb these are. Like, they're meant to be funny in these incredibly unfunny things. So Willis, in interviews, has referred to people liking his stuff, and I think specifically Hudson Hawk, because it's Jersey humor. Mm-hmm. Now, as someone that was raised in New Jersey, I would just like to say, no, it is not. Yeah. But beyond that, this man has no grasp of the world. Like, that makes no sense. Like, so I think he's just trying to say, we're busting balls, we're being Italian, but this movie also goes against that same Jersey humor, where he's like, oh, I like ketchup on my Italian food. Mm-hmm. It's inherently anti the vibe he's developing with the Jersey humor. I'm from Hudson River, Hudson Hawk. This is Manhattan, but I like ketchup on my pasta.
Yeah,
there's this weird.
Because you don't need these snooty nonsense. He knows what's good.
But that doesn't make sense character-wise, and that's why I'm like, that's like, is this deeper? And it's not.
It's not.
There's the bones of something that meant to be meta and looking at itself mixed with such incompetent joke writing
and cartoon sound effects.
I didn't notice any of those.
Oh, really?
There's cartoon sound effects.
See, this is interesting. Now, I had texted you when we were watching this and mentioned that I'm not surprised that you had liked this movie.
Yeah.
Because this is clearly the prequel to The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
This is the fourth element.
I was finding some way today to do the opening wherein I figured out how the archaeologist at the beginning of The Fifth Element is actually Bruce Willis's grandfather or was killed by James Coburn. And I couldn't quite connect them together to actually make that. But yeah, this is very Fifth Element-y
Yeah.
in that it just goes for it.
Yeah,
and,
it does. It
and what
absolutely
it
does.
is fucking weird.
And it's not funny. But it's like Luc Besson saw this
Yeah.
movie and went, what if I made this more horny and Eurotrash? And
But at least-
boom.
But The Fifth Element doesn't go for jokes, so it's not as cringy.
Ooh, hard disagree. Re-listen to that episode. I complained about that several times, about them going for jokes. They just don't do it as much.
Yeah, I guess but this is, I think, I'm more so this was a comedy. Like, I don't want to say that, but I think that's what at least Bruce Willis and that other guy.
Well, it used to
thought
be
they were
like,
rating.
yeah, because I guess they changed the posters too, because at first it was like, catch the something, catch the action, catch the hawk. And then it became catch the something, catch the laughter, catch the hawk.
Yeah, well, apparently it was originally pitched as an action movie because of Die Hard. And Bruce Willis has lamented that if they had sold it as a comedy, it would have done better.
If it was funny, it would have done better.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's some great stuff here. There's some great ideas here. There's actually some decent gags in here. But even if as big as it was, like if it wasn't just so like wink, wink, look at what we're doing, everybody, it would have been miles better.
Because there are some fucking fantastic points in here. I was telling you last night that Richard E. Grant and Sandra Bernhard should be just worshipped by the followers of camp.
They are
amazing at this.
There is not a piece of scenery in this movie that they did not just chew up, and it's glorious.
It is. They are so fucking good. And James Coburn really turning in a tonally appropriate performance.
Yes.
Which you don't expect from somebody of that grizzled back. And he said the movie's a piece of shit, but somehow on set they made it work. That
Yeah,
like
he's a professional.
like his ridiculousness is so perfect. It's just the problem is the two leads, and it's not so much Danny Aiello's fault, but the two leads. It's not that they're unlikable. They're just so not funny.
No, but you can tell, and I do think what comes across is you can tell that they are having fun, and that there's
Yeah.
like genuine chemistry with them. Not so much with Andrew McDowell, but between the two of them, like you get a sense that they're having fun, and some of that's kind of infectious.
No, totally. There's a few scenes where they actually Danny Aiello is breaking in the shot they used in the final cut. He broke to laugh at Bruce. I can call him Bruce because I'm from New Jersey as well.
Right.
And that's fun, except for the jokes are like I don't mind them bantering. I don't like it. It's like it's this medium level, like this is homophobic and kind of annoying, but I get it. It's two guys busting balls. But then there's just spikes of just incredible, unfunny, awful
Right.
in between mediocrity, which just makes the mediocrity drop even lower.
Well, it's like they're two people that in real life have this relationship and make each other laugh, but they feel the need to shove it on other people, like a podcaster.
Well,
Oh my
look,
God. I just had a breakthrough.
Can we just I hate New Jersey. I left there for a reason, but this makes me feel bad for New Jersey and New York.
Sure. Okay. I do. There was things in this movie I did not expect in terms of like where Bruce Willis comes back after being in jail to find his old neighborhood gentrified. That was not an issue I was expecting.
Well, what I love is that he goes into, and this predates it, but it's like that episode of The Simpsons where Moe's becomes like super trendy.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. They're just watching like this weird things on the TV, and but it doesn't make sense. Danny Aiello side of like he owns the bar. Why would he?
Money. Danny Aiello likes money.
Yeah, I guess, but it's like
And his buddy's inside, and so it's not as much fun to hang out.
yeah. I mean, again, I shouldn't be looking for like character, continuity, but it's like, well, this is supposed to be like a good old boy, stick to your guns kind of mafia style guy. That doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Well, speaking of not making sense,
David Byrne.
no. So the whole thing is predicated on.
Oh, you mean the movie? Like, yeah, the whole movie doesn't make sense. Yeah, true.
Is Leonardo da Vinci being this Elon Musk character, inventing something in his warehouse, having a complete disregard for the safety of his workers?
I mean, that makes sense.
But he invents this thing that turns lead into gold with this like starry prism. Looks like a everlasting gobstopper, except Miri, and it breaks for reasons. And then it's like, then that sets part this whole adventure to Hudson Hawk going to have to get involved on this to steal stuff to find it. But it's narrated by William Conrad.
Yeah.
From Fat Man from Jake and the Fat Man.
Yes.
For some reason.
I
Like, and it opens in a storybook.
Yeah.
And then it ends like with a story. Huh? Like, that seems like an afterthought. Like, we got to wrap this in something.
Well, I was trying to figure that out, whether the framing device was part of the original thing back when it was more action adventure, and that there was a second act framing device as well, which didn't make it to the final cut, a la Princess Bride, where you think of Princess Bride as all the action, but it's Fred
Right.
Savage being told the story by what was it, Columbo, Peter Falk. You tend to forget those scenes because they're pretty forgettable. But I wonder if that's what was the original script was set up that way before Bruce got on set and just tore it down.
Right.
Now there's just these awkward bookends of what the fuck.
William Conrad.
Yeah. And because it would make sense if they cut back to that in the middle, because there's some weird cuts, which actually, again, I don't know if it's artistry or incompetence, and I love it, but like there's a one cut where they jump out of a window, fall through an awning, and then he's in a chair going I.
Yeah.
And it's great because it's like he didn't actually fall into the chair, it's almost like what's that called? It's like a smash cut.
Right, yeah.
But it's a smash cut where he's reacting to something that happened about 30 minutes ago. And like, oh, this is awesome.
No, it's great. And this movie is diabolical in that it gives you these little moments of like, no, stick with me, baby. No, it's good. I mean, yeah, there's some bad times. I lost my temper. But like, stay with me. Look at this. This is great. And then it just, it gets so bad. And those little bits become fewer and far between. And by the last half hour, and this is not a long movie by today's standards, even by an action movie standards, it's only like an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But boy, by the end, it's like, oh, this is still going on, huh?
It's a long hour 40.
Yeah.
By the end, I was just waiting for Richard E. Grant and Sandra Bernhard to come back on, because that was it. I was just like, that was all I need. There was nothing I cared about it. And what's the female lead at the end's name?
Andie MacDowell?
Andie MacDowell. I can never remember her name. I thought she carried more weight than the character should allow her to towards the end of the film, where she's being charismatic and really putting in a performance in what is a thankless role. Like, she does a fucking good dolphin impression.
She does. And initially, it was supposed to be
Isabella Rossellini.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
But then it was supposed to be someone else,
nun.
right?
Yeah.
But then there was someone else, and that person like had to bail due to like back injuries or something like that. And so Andie MacDowell was a super last minute thing, and she just doesn't really have a whole lot of chemistry with Bruce Willis, which I thought was not so great. Because I still think, as much as this movie irritated me and Bruce Willis irritated me, I still find him somewhat charming.
Oh, he's a handsome bastard. He's charming.
Yeah.
Fine. It's just he's incredibly unfunny.
Right. Yes.
And I can't stress that enough. I'm gonna say it at least 7 more times.
This movie has more fat jokes in 5 minutes than like entire episodes of The Critic.
Yeah.
Like there's a routine, like it's just constantly him and Danny Aiello are fat jokes. And then this movie, there's 2 at the beginning, and I was waiting for more of it. 2 like teeth jokes, just boom, boom. And I was like, oh, now I see why Alex likes this movie.
That teeth runner is fucking weird.
Yeah.
Because there's 3 teeth.
What's the third one? Because there's Mona Lisa at the beginning, which I genuinely laughed at.
With the white out around the mouth.
Yeah, where it's like he's not done paying the smile, and he like wakes up Da Vinci wakes up the model, and she smiles, got these awful teeth.
Well,
I'm 12. It was great.
And then there's the security guard or whatever.
Security guard.
Isn't there another guy at the end with bad teeth?
Don't know.
Maybe I just invented it because there's a Comedy Rule 3 or whatever.
Right.
No,
just wanted something to happen.
The Mona Lisa thing was that I cringed at that. At that.
It was just dumb enough that it was in my wheelhouse, and
I think it was just because it's so early in the movie, and I was looking forward to watching it on let's revisit this, and that happening so early, and I'm like, oh, I'm in for a rough fucking 90 minutes.
See, my bit is coming up here. My breaking point is a little further on, because so he gets back and goes to his buddy's bar, which is
5 Tones. Tommy 5 Tones.
Tommy 5 Tones.
Yeah.
And he loves cappuccino, apparently. That's the thing with this character. He's about to drink a cappuccino, and you hear the noise of a silenced gunshot breaking the glass. And a mobster has just fired a gun
yeah.
in the bar. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? That is immensely stupid, but that, in a way that's like, this rules. You did that in this movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still getting a feel of how it's going. And then he goes over there and it's Frank Stallone.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's circle back to that because
No, we need to focus on Frank Stallone at
no,
all
we will.
times.
No, we will go back to that. I just did point that I couldn't enjoy that, and I say it on every episode of the show is just don't show it in the same movie. He's startled by a backfiring Danny Aiello's car in a previous scene to him going to the bar. He hears a gunshot-like noise and dives on the ground. Mm-hmm. The next fucking scene, he gets a cappuccino shot by a real-life gun out of his hand, and he's cool as Fonzie in an ice bath.
Because
Like,
he's in his element. He's
Fifth
not
element.
outside the jail. He just wronged that cop that was trying to set him up again.
yeah.
So he's still,
But I wanted to go back to that because we also missed the first cappuccino gag, and I'm using that term in the feeling I get while watching them. When he's in the car and Danielle hits the brakes for some reason all on the highway, and it makes Bruce Willis spill the coffee that he took the lid off of for some reason.
cool it down. It's too hot.
That's dumb. But this is also where we get the first of the runners in this movie are this: cappuccino, gay people are gross, fat people are gross, and more cappuccino.
Also Nintendo.
And Nintendo, yes, I forgot about Nintendo. Because him and Danny Aiello's relationship is very much, yeah, we kind of want to fuck each other, but let's make fun of it.
Yep.
And they go back to that well pretty often. I just somewhat wish that there was a double feint at the end, wherein Andy McDowell says, okay, that's fine, I'm going to be with you. I think God would want it that way. And he goes, yeah, but God doesn't like who I really want to be with. And then him and Danny Aiello go off into the sunset together. To make sweet, sweet Hudson love.
I got something you can smuggle.
Yeah.
Oh. So the thing that ejected me from this movie is, so he's hired by the Mario Brothers. Yes. Now I was, again, on board. I'm like, this is dumb enough. Hell yeah. I see what this movie's doing right now. This is great.
But why the Nintendo? Why does he not know what Nintendo is?
Because otherwise he might comment that they're the Mario Brothers.
But why is there a runner in this movie? He doesn't know what Nintendo is. But he makes an appropriate joke of, I've been in so long I've not seen E.T.
Yeah.
Nintendo is more famous than E.T.
Not when he went in. He was like, oh boy, I'm going to go see E.T. Had his ticket in hand, got arrested.
Fair enough. Yes, I didn't really. Yes, that's exactly it.
But so he gets hired by them to break into this auction house and steal this horse that Da Vinci made. We could get into the whole heist thing, but there's a moment in that heist where they're going by the security guards. And the security guard is like looking at a phone book or something like that. It's like there's many.
I have it.
Yeah.
There's 8 pages of Wongs in this. Hell of a lot of Wong numbers.
Yeah, but it's not just that. The soundtrack then goes dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, movie. I think we're good here.
We also skipped over meeting Frank Stallone. We missed up the what all of the websites to talk about this is the 6 Sly burn.
Oh, yes.
Where it says directions even your brother can understand.
Because he's got a dumb brother in the movie, but outside of the movie, his brother's Sylvester Stallone.
Now, was there some kind of rivalry between Bruce Willis and Sylvester Stallone?
I don't know. Maybe Planet Hollywood was going sideways. I don't know.
Because it seems weird that like every website cites this, and it's like, I mean, they're both actors.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I think it's just a fun joke, but yeah, people want to pretend that.
Yeah, it's just weird that they went that. Yeah, like okay, like it's not like if you're like, hey, your mother. Oh my God, he's really after Danny Aiello's passed away mother. Like,
right.
No, like this is a fictional reality.
Yeah. It's they just think they're clever for having figured out the joke.
So anyway, yeah, there was a lot of Wong numbers. Fucking. But I need to. How rad were those skateboards?
Well,
those skateboards were rad AF.
Let's get to that. So to break in, Hudson Hawk is somewhat autistic in that he knows the exact lengths of songs. Danny Aiello was quizzing him about this earlier. And so when they have 5 minutes to, they're resetting the security cameras, whatever, and they got 5 minutes to do whatever. He's like swinging on a star. So they do this whole heist while singing this song.
Yeah.
Which won me back over.
It's delightful.
It's dumb enough and it's just silly, but they were seeming to have fun doing it. But at one point, and this actually I think before that, they're riding by the guard house or whatever, the room with all the guards in it, like kneeling down on skateboards that came from somewhere.
Yeah.
and then go somewhere. We don't know where they came from.
But they were like hot pink
They were,
and
yeah.
like neon green.
Yeah, it's the
They're
style at
the
the time.
least stealth
Yes.
skateboards that's ever existed in the history of fucking humanity. And they appear to. But wait, did we skip also? I mean, I guess it's just more fat joke, but like this was this the part where they break in by going through the pool and using the pool
Yes,
rope?
yeah.
Because this is where like the kind of slapsticky like weird reality, weird physics start happening, where it's like he throws the pool float circle, I believe they're called.
Life preserver?
This is where the fat joke is like, hey, this rope only weighs 900 pounds. I hope you haven't eaten too much pasta.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mamma mia.
Yeah, God. But then he's like, hey, you got a really nice ass. And this is where the run of, really, how do I look? You're looking pretty, it's like somewhere between homoerotic and homophobic. And it's very, actually, really, it is very Northern New Jersey Italian now that I think about it. Yeah. This movie's like a documentary.
Having a flashback.
Yeah.
They get the horse, but the guards have seen through their clever ruse. It's chasing them around, and that's when they end up jumping off the building onto the awning, and it cuts to
Yes.
Hudson Hawk landing in the chair. This was a moment where I started to get a little concerned for the movie, because the Mario brothers have been working for this shady English figure. I believe his name is Arthur. And the guy gets the horse, immediately smashes it, because there's one of those pieces of the
Yes.
crystal inside. The corrupt cop says something to Arthur, and Arthur whimsically slashes his throat. I mean, he has some device up his arm, which was very cool, that springs
Oh
out
yeah,
a
he's
knife.
got the same thing as that Clockwork guy from Hellboy. Yeah.
Right, but the music is all like whoop-a-doo.
Yes.
Like, it was very not fitting at all for how bloody the guy was. Like, he gets slit and is bleeding all over the place. But
Oh yeah, because he's English, it's bloody.
yes, but the soundtrack is very, like, fun.
Yeah, it's part of the tonal problem of this
If there
film.
wasn't blood, it would have been fine. Like, if he just shot him. And it was,
Yeah. Because
but,
they get that right later, where we'll probably get to that point, where there's a lot of death gags in this, and they hit those they hit those properly, like the tone of like dying hilariously.
Right.
But then this is the man's like holding his throat while his precious fluids are like it's like Game of Thrones,
Right.
But it's Game of Thrones with Benny Hill behind
There's a
it.
slide whistle.
There's
The next day, like Bruce Willis, the headline
'cause he just- yes,
is
that's
is
right,
that
yeah.
is that the heist was foiled.
Yes.
He's like, well, this whole job was shady and weird anyway, but now they're trying to make it seem like I didn't steal something. My hawk sense is tingling, and so I got to go check this out. So he sneaks undercover into the auction and sits next to Andy McDowell and has a little tete-a-tete with her. And it turns out she's the art historian that's going to look at this.
Well, this
art.
is some more hilarity because like, hey, because he's like, oh, I love auctions. She's like, oh, I hate auctions. They're bullshit. He's like, yeah, I hate them too. And this part I actually thought they were somewhat charming together. I was like, hey, does everybody here have to look like some kind of warthog that's been shoved up a gay joke's ass?
A constipated warthog.
Yeah, and she's like, and then she stands up and she's like,
Yeah.
she's the constipated warthog. Hilarious.
And she gives the horse her blessing and says, yep, this is authentic. She's like, something's up here.
yeah, but we
But
also
Mike-
missed during that is we get introduced to the Candy Bar Gang.
Well, we start to see the candy bar gang because he's bidding, and there's some other bidding going on. He turns on, there's a guy eating a Snickers with the Snickers totally just like
Yeah.
And at first I was like, is this just the worst product placement? But then when I hit pause at that moment because I had to go to the bathroom and it was Amazon, so I could see the X-ray and it was like his character's name was Snickers, and that gave me a good
That gave me
chuckle.
See, I keep forgetting you've never seen this
Yeah.
before. That I need to like see it through your eyes that like you don't know. So this movie's been on for 20 minutes now or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't know that there's about to be the introduction to a villainous gang based around candy
Right,
bars
because then you
that
see-
used to be named after venereal diseases.
after venereal diseases, which is wonderful. But like, yeah, then you see hey, there's David Caruso and he's eating a Kit Kat. There's someone else. They're having an almond joy. And then there's the actor that played Christopher Walken's son in Batman Returns as Butterfinger. It's
Oh,
the
is that
same
who
guy.
that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Who I really don't like in this.
He-
but
really?
not for any fault of his own. He does fine, but they make his character progressively dumber in ways that are just completely unrealistic.
I found him adorable.
And beyond like fun, where it's like, okay, I,
mean,
get it.
But towards the end, I started to feel like kind of adorably bad for him. I'm like, oh, a little puppy got hurt.
But I
But
also don't understand why he's in this group, but
here's what I
whatever.
don't understand is how is that not Brian Bosworth? He's literally in Brian Bosworth cosplay.
Yeah, but you don't need, when you have a force like Bruce Willis, you don't need to throw the force of Brian Bosworth.
Yeah, the Boz
Those are
doesn't need
two-
to be anywhere
yeah.
around there. Also, I think
Boz
the
and Bruno.
I'm the only person that's ever said anything that excited about Brian Bosworth in
no
about
one-
15 fucking
his
years.
own mother. No, thank you. But during this moment, there's a bit where she's looking at the horse, and I believe he's supposed to be, like, it cuts back to Bruce Willis, and I believe he's supposed to be going, "Oh shit," is what he's mouthing. But it looks like he kind of goes, "Horsey."
I wish I had read it that way.
It's clearly supposed to be "oh shit," but when I first watched
that's
it looked like he
so
just
much
went,
better.
"Horsey."
So this is where Sandra Bernhard and Richard E. Grant enter, and the world is a better
And
place.
they enter.
Because
Like,
again, I forget that you have never seen this before, so
Yeah.
you don't know you're about to
No.
you're about to meet the greatest humans
And,
who ever existed.
I'm a fan of both of these people. Yeah, so he enters and is just larger than life, and then Sandra Bernhard follows him, like bidding, like 'cause he builds
So he
bids like
walks in, he
$100
goes,
million.
100 million clams! And she walks in behind and goes, 100 million and one clams!
It's like
and it's
outbid by my own love. Yeah,
fucking
it's wonderful.
perfect.
Yeah.
And oh god,
Now, I've read a couple in reading about this. There were a couple of complaints that like this would have worked totally better if the villains were completely straight. And boy, that's not true at all. Like,
No.
I mean, it would have been a different movie, sure, but they bring such energy to this whole thing, and they're, I think,
Yeah.
being genuinely funny and talented people, or the ability to
this would be
portray
a
themselves as such.
slog if they were serious.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if this were Riggs and Murtaugh, like that level of
Mm-hmm.
actual chemistry and humor, and then they played it straight, sure,
Mm-hmm.
but not with like.
With a couple of funny uncles,
Yeah. Like two of the later Three Stooges.
right? Curly Joe,
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
Shemp.
Yeah, Curly Joe Besser and Shemp.
Yeah.
They're delicious.
Right, and so then they blow up the auction house.
Yeah.
They duck. The auctioneer makes some horrible joke or something, and when he bangs his gavel, he blows up. Isn't that how it goes down? They just press a button, he blows up.
Yeah, it's when the gavel goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he blows up, and it was like in a brutal explosion, like a slow motion of the arm falling.
Yeah, there's
it's great.
body parts,
Yeah.
which tonally makes more better than if you saw him with his face burned off. Go, tell my child I love her,
Right.
which is what happened before when the guy's throat got
Right.
cut.
But so then Bruce Willis saves Andy McDowell, but now he's even more confused. So I forget how he gets like from the explosion to the hospital or to the ambulance.
He gets smashed in the face with a horse that swings from the ceiling.
That's what it is.
Because he goes, "Oh, baby, my middle name is Hero," or something like that, and he
Mm-hmm.
gets smashed in the face. Then they're getting taken away in the Mario Brothers ambulance. It actually says it on the side.
Yes.
Which I quite. It's somewhere between despise and love with
Yeah.
all my heart.
Yeah, that's a good section of like the first 45 minutes of this movie. I am riding that line.
I have, like-
between despise and love.
Yeah,
Like,
I have,
I'm
like-
like this is, but then it goes off. The
I have
rails.
father issues with a lot of this movie where it's just like it's like I love you because like like I'm made from part of you. Like I have to, but also there's a lot of hate. Like I don't know what to do right now. So like I don't really. It's
Mixed
like
feelings.
this is like bringing up some dirt from within me, and I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, and then you feel uncomfortable that A, it's happening, B, that it's happening because of Hudson Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where he fights his way out of the ambulance, and there's this
Right, because
kind of cool.
the
chase
Mario Brothers
sequence.
are actually in the ambulance. He stabs one of them in the face with a whole bunch of syringes.
Because syringes are often kept pointy side
Right.
up. Yeah, that's the way that the world works.
But it's also great that later the guy has not removed them. Wonderful.
It's truth.
This is a great example of just writing that line that this movie does for me, because he gets thrown out of the back of the ambulance that's going down a major thoroughfare, and he's riding on a gurney, but he's still connected to the ambulance like by a sheet or something like
Yes.
that. So it's like, okay, this is kind of corny, but fine, whatever. But then you hear someone next to him go like, "Hey, mister," and he turns, and it's this woman in a Corvette, and she just goes, "Are you gonna die?" Like,
Yeah.
and I loved that. That was wonderful.
Now it cuts to Jersey humor, if I may read
Mm-hmm.
a passage. Hey, yo, how am I driving? 1-800, I'm gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
Because
Then that happened.
I mean, I can't even. 1-800, I'm gonna fucking die. What is that even? It's not even like a non sequitur. It's not even playing
It's-
off of a
it's-
thing to be a non sequitur. It's just He's just saying words in a
It's
sequence.
uncle jokes. Yeah.
It's worse. It's like Robin Williams, but without the 15 minutes before and after that trick you into thinking he was ever funny. Like, it's like, oh, hey, over here, I'm this guy. And you're like, no, all you said was, hey, over here really fast.
This came to my mind real quick, and it sounds like something we all know. So I'm going to say it.
I stopped there because I thought in the beginning of your sentence was you being legitimate.
No.
Saying like, hey, this popped in my mind. And I went, what? Oh. And then by the end of the sentence, I'm like, I don't know how to reparse what just happened.
Yeah, I just Hudson Hawked you.
Yes, you did. I am. So Jersey humor. This is one of the things I love about this film. I think it's Kit Kat is the guy that dresses up like the lead character in every scene. Mm-hmm. Okay, Kit Kat is the best character, but in this scene, this is like Jim Jarmusch, fucking David Lynch level amazing. He has a card in his hand that says, "My name is Kit Kat. This is not a dream."
Well, yes, but he shows him that card because Bruce Willis on his gurney that he flew out of the back of an ambulance on and then navigated through traffic, goes onto this construction site where the candy bar gang is waiting.
Yeah.
Somehow. Wonderful. Again, all right. Loving this joke. Oh, this bad Jersey humor. This is so ridiculous. Okay, I'm on board. And then, then Kit Kat has this card that says, I'm Kit Kat, this is not. But then they all introduce themselves.
Yes.
It's like, I'm Snickers, I'm Almond Joy. And then Butterfinger gets out of a porta potty because he's pooping.
And he gets stuck in the porta potty. His jacket gets stuck. Yeah.
And then, but then they're like, these are our code names. They were before were chlamydia and, sexual disease.
Yeah.
I don't need an explanation for this.
No, honestly, I kind of like that.
It
just because
didn't
it's
do
so
it.
stupid. And then they punch him in the face, to which he holds his arms in front of him mummy style and falls into a styrofoam-filled box.
Yes. Slow motion, because it looks nice.
And he gets sent to Italy.
Ends up in a car with Richard E. Grant playing a Mayflower, Darwin Mayflower. Talks about how he's like, well, we're supposed to be keeping you apart from me, but I figured like, what the hell? I've got another job for you to do here.
Yeah.
We need the Da Vinci Codex. Easy, Dan Brown fans. It's the Codex.
Wait, before he goes to the Vatican, but before that, let's just pretend that the scene with Richard E. Grant and Sandra Bernard in the boardroom happens now, because we need to kind of discuss it, because this is their side of the plot, which is Darwin Mayflower. This is from his wiki quote, because this is all one scene, basically. What can I tell you? I'm the villain. This might be hard to believe, but I'm just a regular Joe. I just want to be happy, and happiness comes from the achievement of goals. It's just when you've made your first billion by the age of 19, it's hard to keep coming up with new ones. But finally, I've got myself a new goal: world domination. And his delivery is mwah.
Yeah.
Now, this is where money isn't everything. Gold is. Fuck T-bills. Fuck blue chip stocks. Fuck junk bonds. We've got the real deal. Money will always be paper, but gold will always be gold. Which doesn't make any fiscal sense in any way, shape, or form.
No, but it's wonderful. Because for a while, I might be right about this, that it seemed like their whole goal was just to destroy all financial markets.
They were trying to destabilize the economies, but somehow that makes them money. And I
didn't even take that. I just took it as like, we're gonna destroy all major economies because we're bored.
But he wants to
But
dominate.
I'll have gold, and gold will always be valuable.
But it won't, because the whole point of it is he's going to flood the market with gold, thus devaluing it.
Yeah, I don't know, but it seemed like he was. There seemed a certain amount of nihilistic intent there that I kind of enjoy.
Oh God, I wish the whole. I don't wish the whole movie were just him and her doing speeches, but it is so amusing every time it happens. And also, apropos of nothing, if Da Vinci were alive today, he'd be eating microwave sushi naked in the back of a Cadillac with both of us.
I love that, because just that with us, like that addition that they're involved is wonderful.
Oh, you like that part, John? Microwave sushi?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's dumb as hell. It's great, and they included themselves in it because that's how decadent they are. They are microwaving sushi, which at the time was a little bit fancier than
1991.
Yeah,
1991.
Yeah. In Omaha, anyway, it was,
sushi.
Sushi,
Oh, yeah, that's
raw
true.
fish. I mean, it wasn't that long. I mean, there was even stuff in the late 90s. I just remember there being an ad, getting angry at an ad with Terry Bradshaw for the NFL or something, where he's at a Japanese restaurant. And at the end, he's like, "You forgot to cook this." I don't.
Oh wait, no, we got.
I really started to tune out.
Oh no, we got to do they go to the Vatican first. So he goes to the Vatican to scout the theft, and And that's where he runs into Andy McDowell again.
Right.
And he's like, hey, look at you, Venus descending. And he doesn't say that. It just,
Right.
I'm punching up the script 29 years later or whatever that is.
That's just as good.
Yeah. Venus descending actually would be a funnier joke because they're, you know, like, it's like an Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
I got it. I know what.
So she's like, hey, check this out. I'm going to show you the post office subway underneath the Vatican here. He's like, hey, can this get me to Times Square?
Because it's like a train.
Yeah, because that's the only subway he's aware of.
Yeah.
But
But you also miss the hilarious interaction he has with a child, where
Oh,
there's
yeah.
this awful little girl with a elephant that he's making faces at, and then eventually steals her elephant, and she's a horrible child, so this is fine. Throws it at the book to see what the security system is like, and it's this descending jail cell, basically.
yes.
So how that works.
Yeah, it's a known thing that child abuse only counts if you're a good kid.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
It was fine to do that to kids.
But the reason I need to talk about this Vatican thing is there's two things in the Vatican post office that made me laugh, and it was no. Take a guess. Do you know?
The crucifix communicator.
Okay, that's one of them. That's the obvious one. Not the obvious because that's fucking hilarious. The fact that there's a light on it, it
Yes.
lights up, and then
Yes.
that's like no, in the background. There's two priests carrying a full-size cross, but it's wrapped up in brown postal paper
didn't-
with stamps on it. So
See, that's great.
it's fucking hilarious,
and-
and it's just happening in the background. It's like a Zucker brother joke where I mean
Mm-hmm.
they would have rack focused on it, but no, it's oh god, I fucking chuckling, and then it follows up with the fucking light up crucifix radio.
Yeah, she gets a call on a crucifix.
Yeah.
Andy McDowell does. And that's, all right, I'm back in, movie. Like, you've lost me, but, like, this is wonderful. This is goofy enough. And then it's Leonardo Cimino, if I'm saying that all right. Character actor. I mostly know him from Dune as the guy poking the Baron's face and being like, your skin, make love to me. He's magical in that movie.
Oh.
But, yeah, short little bug-eyed guy. Great actor. He's some sort of cardinal that is
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
yeah, that Andy McDowell is secretly working for. But just, yeah, the fact that it's a glowing crucifix
So
communicator.
funny.
That's some good stuff.
Now, this is where he meets with James Coburn, because this is where James Coburn says, we blow up space shuttles for breakfast, which, by the way, too soon, bro.
That's how you know they're bad.
Challenger. Got to remember. They're bad. Yeah, but they're the CIA. Or are they not actually the CIA?
I don't even know what, because he's the former CIA.
I don't know.
Because, like, you couldn't be Butterfinger and be in the CIA, I don't think.
I don't know, because when he, not to spoil, but when he dies, he says, my pension is his last words, which is,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's funny or not, because this movie's
It's probably
got me.
not.
Yeah, you're probably right. But it feels like they are the CIA, but they're also not. And also somewhere around here, there's a security guard eating spaghetti out of a thermos.
That was also great.
I think that's the grossest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, it's wonderful.
It's really gross. Oh yeah, so that was the security guard at the Vatican, where so he steals the book by tricking the security guard, yada yada.
Yeah.
The point of this scene is that Bruce Willis does the slowest white boy parkour across the roof of the Vatican, at some point knocking the aerial out of the Pope's TV, where he stands up while watching Mr. Ed, and with wearing a Pope robe, and I think it says the Pope on the back, a la lettering that the boxers have, takes the papal staff and starts banging the TV to make it work
boom,
again.
back in movie.
And again, I don't know, but I don't know if it's funny anymore, because it's
that was.
is it?
Yes.
I don't know. I need someone to give me permission to laugh at this anymore, because I'm so lost. This is like an abusive partner. This movie just is.
Is Bruce Willis on screen? No? Then it's funny.
You bring up a very good point.
That's most of the time, like where it's like, oh, okay, this is actually kind of funny or wry or just goofy. It's not cartoon sound effect punching noises.
So he does his parkour thing, slides down his belt, which gets shot.
And then he falls and lands sitting on a street light.
Yep.
And it's like bounces and he goes, oh, and then I don't remember.
He falls on a bus.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yes. Falls on a bus. And then the bus brings him to the exact spot where he's going to be having his date with Andy McDowell.
Right.
It's like, hey, I'm late for my date. Oh, look, you got a spot. I'll have some vino. And it's like, hey, Garçon, I would like, and he says something in I guess, well-spoken Italian, and says, oh, bring some ketchup, because the ketchup in jail was gross. And again, that ketchup thing is just, it doesn't make sense in the character.
Well, the Italian does not care for it. The waiter is very mad
Yeah,
about
but
it.
I can't even tell you how close to where this man's supposed to be from where I grew up. Like,
Yeah.
I crossed the Hudson River 1,000 times in my life. I know. He said he was born in Hoboken. I've been in Hoboken a million fucking times. You don't put ketchup on Italian food. No fucking right-thinking person
Are
from
you
there.
a cat burglar?
I mean, not anymore.
Well, then you would know.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, you were in jail. You're such a bad boy. That turns me on." She's like very upfront, which is where her character gets confusing.
Yes.
Then they go straight to she's giving him a massage in his hotel room.
Sure.
She's a nun. He's topless. She's rubbing him down.
We're not 100% sure she's a nun yet.
Oh yeah,
We just
right.
know she's up to something.
Well, she knows that she knows the basement of the Vatican and talks to that cardinal guy. So, but that's a weird sequence because they didn't bang and they're giving that's a weird. There's some.
It's will they or won't they? That's like that. That was
No,
Bruce
that's not will.
Willis's.
That's not will they or won't they? They're on the way. They're like that's
Yeah, but they're teasing it out.
are they?
They are because you want them to bang so bad. You're yelling at your TV. Wait, what?
Yeah, I that was confusing because that's not how courting works. I know I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure you don't after halfway through the first date take her top off, get a massage, and then that seems a weird sequence of events.
It was the go-go 90s. It's a different time. It's a massage time.
It was weird. So anyway, they run away, and oh no. So here's some more fun homophobia. He says, "I'm not sure I remember how to kiss girls. Not that they've ever kissed guys." He had to qualify in a fucking movie he's in that oh no, that turned up. I mean,
Wouldn't it be funny though
that's Bruce Willis.
if
That's
he did
100% him doing that. He wrote that line. So I wrote, this movie is very afraid of gay. And then the next scene is Butterfinger saying, "You want me to rape him?"
that was
John, our friend Butterfinger says,
he's
"Do
not
you
my friend.
want me to rape them?"
that was not my friend.
And then he says, "Shut up and read your book." And it's what, Green Eggs and Ham?
It's Green Eggs and Ham, and he's reading it out loud, and they make a joke about that. Okay, he's dumb. I get it.
No,
Like,
but do you want
Yeah,
me to rape them?
yeah,
What the actual fuck?
that's probably a Bruce Willis joke. I'm gonna decide that was a Bruce Willis.
That
joke.
is, I mean, that's not even for 1991. That is totally
Yeah.
fucking appropriate movie.
Yeah.
At some point around here, they are in a Andy McDowell gets like kidnapped or whatever by them or whatever. At some point, she's near statues and Kit Kat is made up to look like a statue, and it's amazing.
Right. Well, so yeah, there's a string of things. There's a part where they talk to Hudson Hawk outside, and Kit Kat is dressed like Hudson Hawk behind him, mimicking his movements.
that's right,
And you're
yeah.
like, oh, okay, this is going to lead to something. It doesn't.
Nope.
Then later, Andy McDowell is kidnapped by them, and Kit Kat's dressed like Andy McDowell. Oh, this is going to be something.
you're wearing
No,
that
it's
like
not.
red dress
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
No, it is not. It's at later on when he's the statues when he dies. But
Okay, yeah. I just have the note, the whole Kit Kat being a mimic thing is kind of amazing.
It's
all
great, but like it doesn't go anywhere. But I
that's
also
what's great about
but I
it.
think but in this case,
Yeah.
I'm on board with it because it's just weird, and I happen to like Kit Kat. I think him being the statue, like if the gag was that like he's constantly popping out of somewhere because he's so good at camouflage or something.
Yeah.
Okay, but no, there's not even a gag there. It's just he's dressed like these people.
No, that's
okay,
what- it's hilarious.
weird enough.
So Hudson gets attacked by the Darwins. He gets kidnapped, which happens like 6 times in the movie. But this is one, and I jokingly like pedantry. But this is, and thankfully it's pointed out on every website. But this is so stupid on a fucking fundamental level. You're blindfolded. In one hand is a brick of gold, in one other hand is a brick of lead. Now you with your cat burglar reflexes, can you tell the difference between the two? They're only one molecule apart on the periodic table of elements.
Yeah.
Like, no, they're not. Gold, because I have the thing, gold is 70% denser. So if you held bricks of the same size, one would be like 20 something pounds, and one would be like, do they have it here? Yeah, one would be 30 pounds, the gold, and the other would be like, I don't know, fucking, what's 30% of 10 pounds.
Sure.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Oh yeah, that's completely,
same.
completely fucking identical. And also, they're not next to each other on the periodic table of elements. Now, I'm not saying you have to do your due diligence on every line of dialogue in a movie, But I mean, how do you think of the periodic table and not bother to go? Maybe I should look at that, because it seems like the person that doesn't know the periodic table that sucks at it that bad wouldn't write that line of dialogue.
Yeah. If you're already enjoying this movie, you do not care about the periodic table. You've never cared.
But I'm kind of enjoying the movie, and that bothers me because it's not like she would know that. There's no.
But I like that this is your breaking point. There's been so much dumb stuff up until this point.
You know why?
Well, technically, that's wrong.
You know why it bothers me? Because Sandra Bernhard.
Okay.
Those are the scenes I like, and then
Don't ruin this for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, not with a scene with her. She's the best. They cut open the book and to reveal the piece of the puzzle.
Another piece of the Everlasting Gobstopper.
And I think this is where Tommy's like, yay, I'm stabbing you in the back, like he's faking being bad, and then he fake dies, right?
Yeah, something like that. That he turned Coates, because they were threatening, their whole leverage over Hudson Hawk was like, we're going to kill your friend.
Yeah.
But then he was working with them, but then he's not.
Yeah. So I know he fakes his death for some reason. And then this is where the only joke that they have together that I actually found funny, where Bruce Willis looks out of the window and goes, why do they leave all the rocks and shit in the backyard? And Danny Aiello's like, they're called ruins. He's like, yeah, that's a good name for them. I found that incredibly funny. I don't know if I found it funny in the way they wrote it,
right?
But that's I'll never be as funny as having that line of natural dialogue with somebody. That's so good.
So yeah, they're all connected. They're all brought together now. This group, Tommy and them, and they're all going to sleep at her house. And Bruce Willis is trying to close the deal with her, and it's not happening. And Danny Aiello is really enjoying that Bruce Willis can't get laid. And then they wake up the next morning and the CIA people are there. And they're like, we've already robbed the Louvre, but we murdered a bunch of people. Ha, 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 ha. And now we're going to murder you. We're going to set this explosive. Well, first they...
No. They shoot him with curare darts,
right,
which I love. Classic Bond style.
But it's a complete missed opportunity, because the whole thing is that makes them muscular, their muscles just don't work, except their head still works apparently. And they kind of put them in this pose, and then they're just trying to fight out of it. And I feel like you could have done a lot more there than they did.
They did do, and it was a funny bit of physical acting where him and Andie MacDowell try to kiss when they're both paralyzed, and they're reaching out with their lips. Yeah. It's not great, but it's a funny, if it was in a funnier scene, I think that would have heightened things.
But then eventually they get out of it by blowing the dart into Almond Joy's mouth.
Yes.
And then shooting, because one guy's got he's like, well, this bomb will wear off, or I'm sorry, the drugs will wear off in 2 minutes, but that will give you 10 seconds to defuse this bomb, which is a rocket that he shoots out of a thing that sticks to a wall.
Yes.
Instead of just being a comedic stack of dynamite, which would have been better. Because then at some point Snickers gets the bomb stuck to a different bomb stuck to his head.
Yes.
And blows up. So now they're going to
Kit
Kat and Butterfinger take Anna to the castle where the gold machine is being reconstructed.
This is where Kit Kat dies. And another beautiful Kit Kat note moment where he's dressed as a statue. He gets shot by, I don't know, let's just say Sandra Bernhard. Sure. It doesn't matter. He falls dead next to Andie MacDowell. And he's got a card in his hand that says, I always liked you.
Yeah. It's very sweet. Again, Kit Kat's one of the best characters.
It's so good. It's so fucking stupid. It's amazing. But I also love that his hand, so he dies. I always liked you in his hand. There's a pile of note cards with various notes written on it. Mm-hmm. And I just love the kind of contingencies that must be written on there. Oh,
this is also, at this point, the CIA, the remaining CIA agents are all in tactical gear, wearing berets and camouflage.
Yes.
I don't know why I couldn't forget the word camouflage.
He was hiding from you.
Oof. And
hey, you started it.
Yeah, so it starts being this whole just war between all the factions, whatever. And I do like the moment where Butterfinger just gets lit up with arrows or something. And then he just goes outside. He's like, Coach.
He goes, Coach is not looking so good out there.
I don't know why. Yeah, the idea that he thinks that the other guy's his coach is...
That's what I'm saying. He's kind of adorable other than the rape bit. He's like this dumb little puppy man.
But I like it just made me think of the Beetlejuice, Coach, I don't think we survived that crash.
Oh, yeah. This is where the Bruce Willis versus the CIA guy
James
fight
Coburn,
happens. And this is again, it's funny fight scene.
It's not. No. Good Lord, no.
But like,
No.
not the part where he's slapping him and he's like the IBD doing that part, but like the fake cuts to it's James Coburn being 80, and then it cut away Star Trek style of him doing a jumping backspin kick.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's actually meant to be a joke, but I find it really funny how fucking awkward that looks.
No, yeah, it was a little weird, but then at some
Not
point,
a little weird. That was very, very awkward. It's the Kirk fighting Kirk thing.
Yeah, I know, but just in the context of everything else that follows, I can't focus on it because he starts punching and kicking Bruce Willis, and Bruce Willis starts reacting to those by bending over, like kicking the stomach, bend over, punch in the face, leans back. A whole bunch to the point that he stops doing it, and Bruce Willis is still doing it, and like makes a comment on doing it, and the cartoon sound effects going like.
I think that actually
That's
is a Three
exhausting.
Stooges bit.
Oh, I'm sure it is,
Yeah.
and they probably did it way better.
I hate Three Stooges.
They're magnificent.
Really?
Yes,
Huh.
they're no Ritz brothers, but they're pretty good.
So during this part, Tommy and fucking James Coburn fly off a cliff.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? They die. I don't know what happens, but it's... Oh, yeah. So Bruce Willis cuts a guy's head off, and he says, and I quote, "Hey, I guess he won't be attending that hat convention in July."
Yes, again. All right, movie back in. That is such a dumb action thing to say. I am back in.
I'm so... Oh, you know what we skipped here? Because this is also where he does bunny ball and shoots the ball.
Right, okay,
Oh, we
so
skipped
there's-
it. No, but Bruce Willis got blown by a dog earlier and made reference to the fact that he was 2 minutes away from coming.
Right. They have this dog. The villains have this dog that there's recurring where she goes, Bunny, the dog's name is Bunny, Bunny, ball, and it chases the ball. And at one point he's sniffing Bruce Willis's crotch for no
No,
reason.
he's biting and fondling.
Right.
Because it makes a point of it, saying like, hey, not so much teeth or like whatever. He made
Yeah.
some joke, but then said, I was about 2 minutes away from being done.
Yeah.
And
Taking command of this
but then
situation.
later he makes a reference to Annie McDowell saying the closest I've gotten to Annie was a dog earlier or something like that.
Yeah.
So like this is canonical. He was getting sexual pleasure from that dog.
Yeah, well, he's been inside for a long time.
But what I'm saying is, this movie is so fucked up that we skipped that. That's so part of the film's architecture that we just went, oh no, that whole thing about him getting sexual pleasure from a dog, we're not even going to think about
Yeah,
bringing it up.
there's so much
because
other
There's
things.
so much. We are being indoctrinated. I'm saying this is a fucking metaphor for the Trump administration. We're just getting used to it.
Well, that comes during their escape is when he finally dispatches the dog. But they bring in Bruce Willis to the gold machine. It's like, with these pieces, we can't figure out how to put them together. We need a genius mind like yours to put them together. And he just sort of goes click, and they just go
Yeah.
together because it's real obvious how they go together.
Even for this movie, that's actually a pretty weak part of the plot.
Yeah. But he ends up like, oh, he didn't give them all the pieces, and so it goes wrong, and it kills them, and stuff.
I
starts
do
blowing
like
up.
that Senator Bernhard, and so very in character, gets covered in molten gold
Yeah.
to die. Beautiful, beautiful
Perfect.
thing.
But
And
as-
Richard E. Grant dies by being near hot stuff.
Yes,
Yeah,
as you
yeah.
do. So many fry cooks gone that way. But like as they're leaving, the dog is still there, and it's not a threatening dog. It's like a Jack Russell Terrier or a ferret. I don't know. It's not a threatening animal.
I don't know dogs very well, but Jack Russell Terrier sounded like, hey, that's a dog
Sure.
name. Yeah.
And Bruce was like, I got an idea. Hey, Bunny, ball. And there's this giant machine that shoots tennis balls there for
Well,
some
that was
reason.
that was established earlier.
Was
because-
it?
Yeah. Richard E. Grant was hitting because remember he hits Arthur in the
that's
face
right.
with a tennis ball.
That's
earlier.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that didn't come out of nowhere. But this part I did enjoy because he shoots the ball, the dog catches it, and is flung out of the window.
Yes, it is amusing.
And like this is the kind of animal cruelty I can get behind.
They leave in the Da Vinci glider.
That's the only way out, apparently.
Yeah, I guess so. Other than that convenient road that they have leading to the castle. And they land, and he says, Anna, will you play Nintendo with me?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's-
Nintendo thing plays off. And this is, okay. This is the height of, I don't know if this movie is so terrible or so good.
It's terrible.
Let me finish my thought because I think I might change your mind here.
Okay. Thrill me, baby.
Annie McDowell's like, if only Tommy were here, that guy I met for 5 minutes, I'd be really happy. And then Bruce Willis goes, oh, I don't believe it. And she goes, hey, that's not nice. He's like, no, I don't believe it. And Danny Aiello walks up the hill. And he goes, how are you not dead? You should be dead at the bottom of the hill. He goes, airbags! Can you believe it? Yeah, but you should have blown up in a fiery ball of death and your flesh should be consumed.
Yeah.
Sprinkler systems! Can you fucking believe it? And Bruce Willis to camera goes, yeah, that sounds like that's probably what happened.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of genius
No, it's
meta.
great.
Like,
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. That's why this movie's got me fucking in a tizzy. It's got my head all spun
and
around.
we've talked time and time again about like movies like just missing the mark and they're so upsetting.
Yeah.
This is just so like not even close. It's like it's on and then it is off. It is
Yeah.
so bad. It is the best comedy you've ever seen, but then it cuts to Carrot Top set for a little bit and then back. Like
Yeah.
it's just absurd how just up and down it goes.
Because that's
Yeah, there's
good
just-
bad writing.
Yeah.
That's like Zucker Brothers level, like funny, like we're just calling attention, like, yeah, that's probably what happened. I like that's so
I want the Snyder cut, but this movie. Like I want what this movie was initially.
One day at a time?
Yes. No, Zack Snyder.
Oh, sorry.
Not the Schneider, the
Oh,
Snyder.
my apologies.
But I want whatever this was initially supposed to be. I want to see that.
But this goes back to the beginning of our episode here. I don't know that there was a thing at the beginning. I think I think the first cut, the first draft was probably just an action adventure thing in the model of Indiana Jones or whatever.
Right.
And there's no meta to it. Bringing in the idiot comedy is how this light started getting shined back in.
I disagree because you have these people that made Heathers, and we've seen what this guy can did with the Batman franchise. I have a lot of faith in Daniel Waters that there would be something there, more like just the zaniness and the uncle humor.
I wonder, did the original
tamped
script
down.
ever come out? Because there's like
don't
this
know.
is like a weird movie, and like it's got its like following.
Yeah.
I don't know if fans is the wrong word, but like this is talked about a lot more than a movie of its caliber should be.
Yeah, if any real Hawkheads are out there,
Yeah.
and know this stuff, like
No,
feel free to
speaking
let
of
us
being a
know.
Hawkhead, do you know what Nintendo game I owned when I was a kid?
Hudson Hawk.
Hudson Hawk.
Yeah, like they bought the property before they saw the movie.
And the game was like one of those games where it's like, this is almost really, I don't remember what the big flaw was, but it's like, it's kind of apropos of the movie, but it's like, this is almost really good, but like, I don't remember what it was, but something was, it's like Ninja Gaiden where it's like, oh, you have to, or like Contra without the Konami code, where like, this is impossible to win. It was something like that, where it's like, this is like slightly off, and it's not till much later in my life where I'm like, yeah, that's actually really perfect. Like that's the way,
That's fitting for this game.
Yeah.
Or for this movie.
Yeah.
Again, if you saw it when you were 12, like absolutely. I think that's part of the love I have for Tango and Cash is that I saw it when I was young.
Yes.
And, I had a chance to grow up with it and be like, oh, this still rules.
And
even
you love
though it's,
butts.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I love Kurt Russell's butt.
Yeah. And Stallone's butt. And you love conversation about dick length, which I remember a significant amount of that movie being about.
Not enough of that movie.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, if you saw something when you were a kid and you loved it, it makes total sense. If you were to come at this thing now, it's such trash.
That's so weird.
But like, there's you could do a 5-minute supercut of like
Yeah.
good scenes, I think, and that's probably it.
I don't know how if the good scenes hold up without the horrors. Like I think it's like you need the yin and the yang to combine into the
I think
shitball.
you could lure people in with like, here's some of the look at this glowing crucifix,
Yeah.
and then
Glowing Crucifix is so good.
yeah, that's how they get you.
Yeah.
So that is Hudson Hawk. We've been on a run lately of superhero movies and movies featuring strong guys doing stuff. So let's keep that going with La La Land.
Yes. The superhero epic starring Ryan Gosling and Emma Maid of Stone.
Yep. It's he's a baby goose and she's a rock monster.
Yes. Golem and Goose back together. He's Golem, she's Goose, and they're both DAs.
I'd rather watch that.
Most likely.
Yeah. It's our first musical, so that'll be fun.
That's true.
And we haven't done a dance movie yet because you won't watch one of the Step Up movies.
It's not that I won't watch one. It's that
You just don't like being told what to do.
no, it's that it's a terrible idea and you're dumb for having it.
Step Up 3D is a masterpiece.
No, I've never seen one of them. They might be fun. It's hard for me to commit to it. The only reason I can commit to this is, one, we need to do a movie on the show. It's sort of the premise. And two, it like won like all sorts of awards and shit. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I feel like I can kind of like Step Up feels like, I mean, I feel like kind of I'd be put on a list for liking that.
No, yeah, list of cool people that like awesome stuff.
Yeah, cool guys.
So yeah, all you step heads out there, if you want to find Alex's contact information and text, email, a phone call his work, and just say, hey, do Step Up 3D.
Yeah.
It's the best one.
I'm at John.Meyer at...
Nope, it's Myers with an S, but that's cool.
I know, that's why...
Nope,
there's
no,
a-
you didn't. You purposefully...
No.
Anyway,
Yeah.
this is all getting cut.
J-O-N.
This whole show is getting cut.
JON.MAIER.
Cool. All of that's great. So yeah, La La Land. Next time.
Yay.